at the diploma level. So, to facilitate a smooth green energy transition, this human resource gap has to be filled, because we need the skills also to facilitate that. And in filling that human resource gap, we are creating employment for our young people, for our young women, and for our disadvantaged people. So the principles underpinning this manifesto are inclusivity, equity, accountability, sustainability, and innovation. And our call to action is that political parties, civil society organizations, development partners, academic and policy think tanks should endorse this manifesto, participate in climate policy dialogues, and commit to green job creation targets. We urge all stakeholders to integrate climate action into education, support youth and female voices, and collaborate on the implementation of these policy proposals so that we create a Uganda that is envisioned in Vision 2040, which is a middle-income, prosperous, and modern Uganda. I thank you, Madam Speaker and honorable members.
Thank you, honorable member. We shall move to... Yes, all right, honorable speaker.
Before we proceed, I would like to know whether each and every one of us present here has gotten the opportunity to look at the document that has been presented. Have we all gotten access to it? Because it wasn't projected. What is the House saying? Is it a yes or a no? So I'm told this is a no, and I'm going to request the technical person to support on that, and we try and make sure that each and every, because if we are going to table it and discuss it, then people need to know what they're going to be discussing.
Madam Speaker, the document and the presentation have been shared in the WhatsApp group. So I am going to ask one of the people from the Secretariat to take keen interest of that matter for those who have not gotten a copy, to find a way of accessing it through email.
Thank you very much. I do believe that that will solve it, but also is the manifesto provided on the website or not yet for easy access?
We are working on it technically. Before lunch it shall be accessed.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Katende. To our dear honorable members that have not yet received it, I think the technical person is aware, and they'll be getting to know where you are, and they'll be availing it to you. It would be a disservice for you to be seated here and a document is presented without you being in the know of what is actually being presented. Thank you very much. We may proceed.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. We shall move to item number 5 on the order paper.
Madam Chair, my name is Robert Riachira. I'm the former Speaker of the House, the inaugural Speaker. I'm Uganda's award-winning environmental defender and a leading climate activist and advocate. I'm the Executive Director of the African Greenhouse Network, and I have the pleasure to stand before you, Madam Chair, and the House to move the motion for us to adopt the manifesto. But before I do that, Madam Chair, allow me to appreciate the Environmental Parliament Secretariat team, which has made sure that we do this incredible work, especially supported by the consultant. But also, Madam Chair, with your leave, allow me to recognize in absentia our second Speaker of the Environment Parliament, the Right Honorable Howard Mwesigwa, who was seated in that chair that you're in just last year, who is away for his Masters in Law at Edinburgh University. But also allow me, Madam Chair, to also add my voice to appreciate our partners, significant partners that have continued with us as the Environment Parliament, especially the Parliament of Uganda that continues to host us and provide us the support that we need. Madam Chair, allow me to stand on the protocol that is already in place, but also re-echo the key pillars of the manifesto that has been laid before us by the consultant, that include, but not limited to, agriculture and nature-based solutions. The manifesto calls for support for agroforestry and reforestation process programs. The manifesto also calls for incentivizing organic and sustainable land use. It calls for renewable energy transition. It underpins the need for green urban development and calls for mainstreaming youth and women in green economy. The manifesto is very strong on climate education, research and innovation, Madam Chair. It also calls for public-private partnership and green investments. The manifesto underpins the need for the just transition and climate justice and is laid on the 5 key principles of inclusivity, equity, accountability, sustainability, and innovation, Madam Chair. But to emphasize that the manifesto is calling for strong multidisciplinary action. And at that juncture, Madam Chair, allow me to read in verbatim the motion that we have drafted as the EP Secretariat, that I'm going to move that we should be able to adopt the manifesto. Madam Chair, concerned that the climate change is no longer just an environmental issue but a socio-economic challenge, Uganda is so susceptible to the vagaries of climate change. Recognizing that climate change is currently not just a crisis, but also an existential threat, as you guided us, Madam Chair, in your preamble, due to the rapidly changing climate conditions and weather patterns. Mindful that climate change has not only caused increase in extreme weather patterns, weather events, but also has led to multitude of erratic rainfall patterns, floods, landslides, hailstorms, and long droughts in recent times, leading to significant biodiversity loss and disruption of livelihoods. Evident that these changes are leading to a far-reaching effect on close to 3.5 million Ugandan households who are currently outside the money economy and are acutely vulnerable to climate change. And noting that climate change is visibly already impacting every sector of the Ugandan economy, particularly as regards to poverty reduction, wealth creation, agriculture, housing, infrastructure, education, and healthcare. Whereas even other East African countries are also vulnerable to the impacts of climate change due to the low levels of development, lack of enough infrastructure, and low adaptive capacity of the nature-dependent subsistence communities. We acknowledge that it is no longer a secret that climate change has worsened an already bad situation, especially for the majority of our ordinary people in our communities. Concerned that these climate disruptions have impacted heavily on the small businesses in the informal sector, smallholder farmers, and ecological systems, causing devastating loss and damage in our communities. Also aware that as local communities are grappling with these climate shocks and socio-economic losses due to devastating climate change effects, they are also faced with adverse impacts of job loss, food insecurity, distortion to housing, education, healthcare services. Aware that the occurrence of climate change presents Uganda with an opportunity to set high but achievable ambitions to mitigate climate change, and also enhance the adaptive capacity of key vulnerable sectors of the economy, like agro-industrialization. As the consultant ably said, Uganda's 10-fold strategy focuses on how we can, grow our economy from the current $50 billion to 500 billion in the next 15 years, but focusing on the ATMs, which is agro-industrialization, tourism, mineral resources, innovation, science, and technology. Considering that the country should focus on strengthening community climate resilience at household level, by establishing clear conditions for supporting key sectors whose operation is a priority to guarantee the well-being of the ordinary people. Do hereby move to move that we should, for us to meet economic challenges created by the impacts of climate change, we should leverage Uganda's vibrant young population, of about 70%, to sustainably engage in climate smart solutions towards greenhouse gas emissions and disaster risk reduction. We, as the Environment Parliament, seated in this house, here at the Parliament of Uganda, on this 5th September 2025, do here move that Uganda's national determined contribution, the NDC framework, which lays out the country's ambitious climate action plan, should urgently be funded to support the business as usual approach to power growth of the resilient green economy that brings all youth, especially those in the grassroots and informal sector, into the green growth strategy and climate smart agriculture by creating bankable green businesses and creating green jobs to increase household income and accelerate sustainable development and the country's Vision 2040 and the 10-fold growth strategy. Madam Speaker, with your leave, the climate manifesto that is presented by our consultant is here laid on the table, and I hereby move that we should adopt the manifesto and adopt it as a document for this house, so that we're able to debate upon it and be able to push for future joint citizen advocacy, especially engaging all the other stakeholders. Madam Chair, with your leave, I hereby move. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Member. The House has moved and adopted the manifesto. So we shall move to item number 6 on the order paper.
Procedure, Madam Speaker.
Proceed. Granted.
We shall proceed.
The representative for the political parties, kindly wait. Mr. Katende, you left us at a point of procedure.
Madam Speaker, I pray that the manifesto is waived to members for adoption. Thank you.
You're welcome. That was a procedural step that was missed, but just to bring us back to the House, the motion that has been tabled is open for discussion and for us to engage. Because as a House, yours is to weigh in whether it is something that we accept as a House or something we do not agree to. So the plenary is open for you to discuss the motion that has been tabled. Yes, Honorable. Apologies, Honorable, you may take leave for now. We shall be proceeding later. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Ronald Akankwatsa, and I'm glad to say that I come from Barra City. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to give a few comments on the environment manifesto that has been just highlighted by the conveners of the EP. I agree with the strategy to actually enhance green skills in TVET. Only that I would like to add that we should develop a comprehensive green skills training curriculum. Because, for example, I am a civil engineer, but the knowledge that is taught in engineering lacks the technicalities to do with biodigesters, to do with the geothermal energy. So I would like to propose that we also look into the issue of developing a comprehensive green skills training curriculum in the education system. Secondly, Right Honorable Speaker, I would like also to, us as the House, to encourage the implementation of the Energy Transition Plan of Uganda within this manifesto. Because, for example, the Energy Transition Plan talks about universal energy access by 2030, but as of today, 5 years to come, 5 years left actually, we are at 50%. So there is still a long journey to go. Thirdly, last but not least, talking about there is something to do with the Green Jobs Secretariat as a proposal in the Environment Manifesto. And to me, I would propose that we actually empower the existing initiatives like the National Renewable Energy Platform under the Ministry of Energy, other than creating other parastatals that may actually duplicate work. For example, you know we have so many secretariats, including the hand-washing secretariat, if any members knows about that. So I don't support the issue of creating so many secretariats that actually duplicate work. I beg to submit. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable. I will cross over to Honorable over here.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. My name is Kasembo Velma. I'm from Toroko District, and
Honorable, we're not able to hear you. I kindly request you adjust your microphone so that we are all able to hear from you.
Hello, I'm clear now? Okay. Kasembo Velma, I'm from Toroko District. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. And also, I'm working with Vital Crest Foundation, foundation that deals with environmental sustainability and climate action, and some of the things you've discussed here. This is a very nice manifesto. However, like a home, they have rules and they have penalties that govern a home. I was thinking on these pillars, let's add policies that will hold partisans and everyone nationally accountable for their action. Like, they know if they do wrong, they are held accountable with strict guideline governing individuals, organizations to be more conversant with environmental action and climate action. Because at the end of the day, all these can work, but if there is no strong accountable action, these things will remain vague. I beg to submit. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before we proceed, I would request for information and clarity. Does Uganda have existing climate policies that actually govern the view that has been tabled? Is it a yes or a no?
It's a yes.
So, thank you very much, Honorable from Toroko District. We do believe that Uganda already has those existing. I think, as you put it, we now reinforce and make sure that they are strengthened and followed through. Thank you very much. There's a gentleman there. Yes, Honorable.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Good morning, everyone. I'm sorry, but you know, as regards to inclusion, the mic is a bit too low for me. Thank you. I'm Kawanguzi Joel. I'm from the disability community, but I work for foundational persons affected by dwarfism. Madam Speaker, I support the manifesto, but I have only 3 concerns that we need to look at it. One is about assistive technologies. As regards to inclusion, as regards to communication, we need assistive technologies to enable especially every person to communicate, every person to participate. For example, he was speaking about metro, the buses, but as today I see, if I'm in a wheelchair, to enter into a bus is very difficult for me to go with a wheelchair. Then if you are looking about issues concerning participation, and you know there is no braille, there is no sign language interpretation, there is no all these like a tactile, which is for the deaf blind. So it means I'm left backwards. So if you are looking, thank you, madam. So if you are looking at really leaving no one behind, it means person with disabilities will be left aside, yet we are among the marginalized population. Another thing is about agriculture. He had a very good point on agriculture. But when you look at the strategies that he's bringing, you know, now there is a lot of land fragmentation, where I seen in Ansana, people have 20 by 30 feet, you know, they are constructing there. So how can we ensure that we can promote green? The green, I'm proposing vertical gardening, where wherever you are, you can plant either tomatoes, you can plant either eggplants, and it increases the green, which increases on the moisture that is released to the atmosphere, you know, without affecting the ozone layer. Lastly, it's about disaggregated data. You know, everything we do is okay, but who are the people we are targeting? Do we have the data? Let the data be disaggregated in terms of gender, disability, age, and the others, so you know the people you are targeting. In fact, if even you are designing a program, either for the younger people, you know and involve them. Thank you, Madam Skid.
Thank you very much, Honorable. Thank you very much for the perspective you bring to the floor, and also for the comprehension on what should be done and what should be extended upon. Yes, Honorable.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, and the House at large. My name is Sarah Adong. I am the president of the Democratic Party Women's League. I come from Zombo District. And I love the manifesto, but more so with the areas concerning agriculture, because I come from the district that entirely 100% survives on agriculture. And if we talk about issues of climate change, I think my district is highly affected, apparently. As I go deep into the matter, agriculture and nature-based solution, where I just want to pick on the first key point: support agroforestry and reforestation programs. Yes, these are very good points. However, I would love to see more of a practical solution, because I also happen to run for parliament in the district. I happen to go to many of the sub-counties cultivating either coffee or bananas. Today, when you go to most of the coffee plantations, they have no bananas at all. Or when you go to the banana plantations, they have no trees completely. Trees are being cut down. And I can tell you that in the last 2 months, Zombo was highly affected with the heavy rains, heavy rains. The only thing is that maybe we are not like Bugisu. Perhaps that's the reason as to why we are not in news. Otherwise, the issues to do with the climate change is affecting the country so much. So for me, the issue of afforestation and reforestation is very key here, and we need to call on government. I think NEMA has relaxed a little bit. The National Forestry Association Authority, has also relaxed a little bit. The forestry department in the districts have relaxed because at one point I had a discussion with the district forest officer over these matters. And when you have a discussion with them, they seem to be like they have given up completely. So where do we run to after 10 years from now or 5 years from now? So I would call upon us to have a more practical, either to put terms to government that, look, yes, whereas we have these policies, you ask about the policies regarding climate change and the rest in Uganda. We have, but our biggest challenge has always been on the practicability of the policies. And this is where our emphasis would really yield more fruits if this has to happen. Thank you so much. I submit.
Thank you very much, Honorable from Zombo. I will cross over to, I'm trying to balance the entire room. Yes, Honorable.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. I'm so honored to be here. My name is Senkubuke Abekasiria. I would like to submit by adding a contribution to one of the floor speakers here. He spoke of high school, implementing climate action in high schools. I believe it's a good opportunity to take up. However, I would like to add on by saying that as we include the high school students, happen to be teacher by profession, we should not put back the young children, especially in between the age of 5 to 10, because we, as we are growing up, we had cartoons and all that, but have we imagined that if climate action could be put into the visual videos and visual cartoons we used to see in our young ages, how would this kids be able to contribute to nature in one perspective or another? So as they are concluding on that research, I would like for them to include the young kids at large. Thank you so much. I would like to submit.
Thank you very much. As we proceed with our debate also, I'd like to re-echo that if we have familiarized with the order paper, we have different groups that will be presenting. And therefore, for particular solutions and recommendations, I want to believe that people from those interest groups or those particular groups are actually taking note and have incorporated, so that when we piece together all these various manifestos, then they become comprehensive and we get to where we would want to be. But thank you very much for the views and recommendations. We may proceed. I will move to Honorable at the back. Oh, and we only have 2 minutes to proceed with our speeches, so let's make them brief so that we try to have everyone or most of us submit.
Right, Honorable Speaker. I support the manifesto, but I believe there is something missing about community engagement, because I don't think it will make a lot of sense to us to come here and discuss matters that are actually very important without engaging the community. So I believe if we are able to get up with a solution and we engage with the community, we sensitize them about the impacts of climate change, it will do us a lot of good instead of just discussing things here and we leave them in the boardroom. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Though before you take leave, allow me just seek clarity. Which form of community engagement? Because to me, all this goes back to community and is going to be done in community. So I would seek clarity on which specific ones so that we get to have it noted and added to the recommendations.
The community I'm talking about are especially these people in the villages they cannot access most of the communications that are being made. Those people that lack TVs, radios, how are they going to know about these things? Because in most cases, they're the ones that bring up the climate change crisis.
Thank you very much, Honorable. I see the room is getting, but we are only left with about 10 minutes to conclude with this debate. So I'm going to do the last round of picking by numbering, and we shall proceed in that way. Kindly turn off the microphone. Thank you. And I'll request that we strictly stick to 2 minutes. So I will start with Honorable here, there. 1, 2, 3, 4 at the back. 5, 6, 7, 8 at that lady. And we shall end there for now.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity. My name is Kakoza Derek, the Speaker of the Central Youth Parliament. Basically, I agree with the manifesto, but my only challenge is that the manifesto has limited its focus on the informal sector, because we know that in Uganda, almost 90% of this country falls under the informal sector, the border riders and all that. So we need to focus more on people, or give focus to the people in the formal sector, because they can foster these climate change actions. And secondly, or lastly, I'd like us not to just give ideas, but we should also inspire action. If at all we are party to the Paris Agreement, we have the NDC, and you have the African Continental Free Trade Area, the different agreements, then we must put them into action, not just read digits and figures. I beg to submit.
Thank you very much, Honorable. Honorable, you are number 3. There's number 2 there, but thank you.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Emmanuel Mukisa from Green Turtles Forum. I beg to appreciate the particular manifesto and the EP for coming up with such a valuable document. However, I want us to put some more emphasis on education. Climate change literacy is very key, especially the young generation. We have a gap in schools. We realize that these little kids, nowadays all the parents, they have all their attention on the children. And even some of us who grew up without understanding climate, how it's disturbing us and so forth, it's easier to see this from the children. So as we go up into the research and do anything else in education, we need to ensure that the children are given priority to handle climate literacy at a lower level, because this leaves a long-lasting memory onto them, and they can easily pass on this information to their parents, and the parents can easily fall in love with what the children are telling them. So, Right Honorable Speaker, I beg that as we're doing this, we have our focus also on the children to leave a long-lasting impact. I beg to submit. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I am Akelo Elizabeth Priscilla, a student of law from Makerere University. I agree with this manifesto. However, on the key pillars, I would like to suggest that we also include the aspect of corporate social responsibility, because some of these entities, for example, banks, are multidimensional and they engage with almost all persons at all levels. So if we would also include the corporate social responsibility, so that they may also add into their operations concerns that are of an environmental nature, that is also an angle at which you could get everybody to actively participate. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that submission.
Okay, thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. My submission is about infrastructure and transport. I didn't hear about electrified vehicles. They could also reduce on the carbon from the fuel, like the normal transport, then also intermodal transport. How about if our Leire is being put in the play, like and extended into regions? I think it would also do us some good service, and also urban planning. I like the way I see the city now, Kampala. It has green, but yes, but as you go to Entebbe, sometimes we had trees in between the roads, but when you go right now, they were cut. It gave, in the previous, when they were around, they gave us beauty. The green was good, but when I asked members around, I don't know whether the answer they gave me was right, that they became a threat because people could hide in there, but I think if we had shorter ones that could give us a good view, would be great. Then also, on agriculture, we need more incentives for the women. Most of the women do agriculture, but if they don't have incentives, we have low production all the time. If we could increase on that, it would be great. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for that contribution and suggestion. I actually get to see there is a segment under green urban development where most of that was actually discussed. But thank you very much for tabling that submission. Yes, Honorable.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Demon Sharon Leah. I'm from Ngora District. I wanted to add on the manifesto. The thing is, I happen to have an experience of implementing a climate change project in rural areas, and specifically that was primary schools. And I want to say that we need to focus on these children, because these young kids, when you give them the message when they are young, there is a way they can be so passionate. But again, what I realized that you can't focus on children and you forget parents. In any case, these parents are real people who stay in the communities, and these are people who are affected by climate challenges. So, and again, these parents are the ones who influence and they can guide their kids. So when you talk about schools, you can't stop, like you can't forget talking about parents. And I would always advise that it's like I had a project, I trained young children and I trained parents. But I realized that these parents were so committed. For example, you would meet them and ask you, where is the trees, Sharon? What you promised us this. What have you given us? What are you doing for the projects that you spoke that day? And I realized that if we really need to have that impact in a community, it is easier for us to get into schools, but don't forget involving parents. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Honorable. Now that everyone seems to be passionate about education, I am eagerly waiting to listen to the position paper that is going to be laid by the Uganda National Students Association. And I want to believe such discussions are extensively discussed and entailed. Thank you very much. I'm going to kindly re-echo and request that we stick to only 2 minutes. Once my timer goes, I will be telling you to stop. So let's save time.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Damlera Daniela. According to this manifesto, what I think is very important about it is that it takes into account what has been holding us back from achieving environmental conservation at its maximum. The fight against pollution and towards climate action has been held back by the fact that the industries that pollute the environment the most are the most profitable. So I find it very interesting that we're looking more into green jobs and making alternatives for such industries, and furthermore that we're streamlining it into education, which is true. And countries like Kenya have actually brought it out, like from grade 3 to grade 6, they increment environmental studies. What I think could also be put into this is, in order to foster innovation, we should have things like competitions. Climate action and environmental conservation are fields that you don't leave school straight away and you have a job in it. But if you can have like state-sponsored and state-pushed innovation competitions that look at making innovations that are both profitable and help us protect the environment, it would also push the narrative of innovation in the green space while keeping it sustainable and profitable. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Chove Moses from Nkumba University, and I serve as the president of Nkumba University Law Society. I support the manifesto, and I add my voice through these issues. First and foremost, mainstreaming climate action into politics. Climate change must not be seen as an isolated environment problem, but it is a problem to the economy, to the governance, and also to the development of this country. And in Uganda ranks as 15th in the world and the most vulnerable in Africa to climate-related problems. Over 80% of our districts, Right Honorable Speaker, are drought-prone, while at least a quarter of our citizens live at risk of floods. We can no longer treat climate change as the concern of one ministry or one sector, while at this moment I urge that it must be looked at as something broad and must be focused in every party that comes in to run for any elective position should include it in their manifesto because it is a general problem. Secondly, Right Honorable Speaker.
1 minute left.
Thank you very much.
Actually, second.
Thank you very much. I will also talk about the green jobs as my Honorable has talked about them. That one of the construction jobs which are being carried out at Nyamwamba to mini hydropower plant in Kasese have created over 200 construction jobs. So this shows that if the government takes in concern of the climate problems and we construct dams in other areas, this not only powers homes but also empowers livelihoods of people, hence increasing their economy. With so that, I beg to submit. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable. I would like to also kindly request that we go direct to the point, and if someone has made mention of your contribution, you can as well believe and accept that your view has been represented. But also lastly, can we hear more of the solutions and what to add than the complaints of throwing blame, but also be more innovative and creative? I think we're now left with two people that were on this side. The last 2 or 3 that I had picked. I think there is this gentleman. I remember if I picked this gentleman, her, and someone around there. So there are more things to discuss upon. So there are more avenues for all of us to come in. There are more motions. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Marvin Mugume. I support the manifesto. Well, my point of view is I am happy for the active youth participation in this environment parliament, and I believe that with the efforts of the youth, we shall achieve our goals. Well, my point of concern is we are seeing youth being called upon in these platforms, to speak out and actually to raise their points. But the point of concern is, well, we are being heard, but we are not being listened to. We are not seeing implementation from the youth's points of view. Youth are speaking out, but there is no implementation that we are seeing. Therefore, on that note, Madam Speaker, I beg that there actually can be implementation on these points that we are always discussing, because youth end up being demoralized and demotivated whenever they see no action taken. On that point, I beg to submit. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable, what could be the implementation strategy so that we get out of being heard and move to actually pushing stakeholders to acting on this, because it seems we are still where we are?
Well, thank you, Madam Speaker. Well, the first step, according to me, is on those bodies or organizing committees, let's have youth being on those bodies or those organizing committees, rather than having other people taking those roles who actually end up forgetting the issues or the points that are being raised by the youth. I beg to submit. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I had someone re-echo and say that we are a cross-generational nation and therefore we should advocate for a blend and a coexistence. But thank you very much, Honorable. I'll now move to the other part so that we can listen to your contributions and your views and we can proceed.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Honorable members, Good morning. I rise to second the adoption of the manifesto, but I speak from experience, much as I am required to speak facts. Right Honorable Speaker, in the manifesto, I would encourage stakeholder engagement at community level. I have a little story to tell. I was a part of the Central
Hope
Youth.
it can be in 1 minute.
Yes, please. I was a part of the Central Youth Parliament that carried out a community initiative in Naguru. Now, a little challenge that we faced was KCC questioning us on not informing them that we were coming to carry out a community initiative sensitizing the community on environment conservation. So I would really encourage stakeholders like KCC, I don't know if we have any here, to support youth initiatives like such engagements and also just offer support in any way that they can. So I rise to encourage stakeholder engagement at community level. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable. And as you've cited, I hope we look to intertwine and work together, that if it is stakeholder engagement, then we work with the stakeholders so that we are all catered for. So there's a last view from that gentleman, and then we close this.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, for granting me this opportunity. My name is Ambrose Ladukonda, and I hail from the Great Highlands of Chigezi region, and specifically Kanungu district. Madam Speaker, I would be proponent to this motion, but only that I'm dissatisfied because we have been left out, because me, as I've said specifically, I come from Kanungu district in the Chigezi region. We are a special group in that we are at the border with DRC. We have 2 parks, that is Wind Impenetrable Forest and Queen Elizabeth National Park. We have 2 indigenous groups, that is the Batwa and the Banyabutumbi group that specifically live in the midst of Queen Elizabeth National Park. So my point is, according to the motion, and when it comes to the agriculture, the green economy, the green jobs, we have been left out. I didn't hear anything that is taking into account of these indigenous groups. And remember, we also have a refugee camp, that is Matanda camp, which on a daily basis receives at least 10 refugees. With that, I beg to submit.
So, Honorable, what do you propose should be added to the document of the manifesto?
I propose that in this motion or in this document, they put into consideration of the human-wildlife conflicts that the people are experiencing, so that as honorable members are discussing, we can come up with possible remedies for such. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Honorable. I would like to believe that this discussion and this motion in particular has been well discussed and well tabled, and I would like to believe that we have all picked up and know what we are going to be tabling today. So at this juncture, I'm going to...
Madam Speaker, before you take leave of the matter, allow me to stand on the procedural matter that had been raised by Mr. Katende, having allowed sufficient debate by the Honorable House, and I have the physical copy with me, and you guided earlier on that we should be able to disseminate as widely as possible the soft copy to the members. I would like to suggest that you allow the House to officially adopt the manifesto. One of the honorable members actually stood moving the motion to second the motion. So if you could allow, I could bring the physical copy to you, Madam Speaker, to be able to undertake that function of officially adopting the manifesto with the recommendations that have been made by the members in the House.
Information to also validate.
My house is being overtaken. Allow me bring back power to my office, to my docket. Thank you very much for that recommendation. We're actually going to invite a seconder to the motion that has been tabled. But also I would like to re-echo and specifically say with improvement and incorporation of what has been suggested, I hope that the people that tabled and designed the motion are open to expanding it and taking into keen interest and consideration what has been said. So thank you very much. I would like to request anyone that would like to second the motion that has been discussed. Yes, Honorable.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. My name is Stephen Omara, representing National Disability Council. I second the motion that you adopt the document for the benefit of Ugandans, following the recommendations.
Can we put this right? I would like to guide that you make a proper statement because it is on record. I, so and so, stand to support or to second the motion to adopt the Environment Parliament Manifesto, and then we can proceed.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for that guidance. I, Omara Stephen, from National Disability Council, second the motion for adoption and validation with recommendation from the House.
Thank you very much. Any other seconder? Yes, Honorable over there. Can we be fast? Your microphone is off.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Adeline Ahawe, and I second the motion to implement and politicize the Environment Parliament Manifesto of 2025.
Thank you very much for our
information,
seconders.
Madam Speaker.
Yes, yes.
The manifesto is branded as the Environment Manifesto 2025.
Thank you very much for that clarity. For the motion to adopt the Environment Manifesto 2025. Honorable members, those in support say aye, and those not in support or against say nay. The ayes have it. Thank you very much.
Madam Speaker, may I hand over the physical copy to wave to the House, which has been adopted?
Yes, you may.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We may proceed.
Thank you for the amazing discussion. We shall proceed with our order paper, moving to item number 6, which is laying of papers by political parties.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. For the records, my name is Vulesa Hassan, and I come from the Justice Forum, JEMA. I rise here to represent the political parties. Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable, I kindly request that you inform the House of the owner of the parties that you're representing, so that we also get to understand and know from them whether they actually approve of their representation.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members in this August House, on behalf of the political parties, I rise to present our position and proposals on how Uganda can urgently and effectively manage our environment and take bold climate action.
Procedure granted. Can we have a mobile microphone?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Is it in order for the current speaker to address? Thank you, Madam Speaker. Is it in order for the current speaker to address as a representative of all political parties? Yet, on the order paper, you said every political party. I beg to submit.
Thank you very much. I was reliably informed that political parties formed a coalition in a meeting that was held on Tuesday this week, and that is why I requested the honorable member on floor to state the political parties he is particularly representing so that he may proceed with mandate and authority to represent them. So kindly state those that you represent so that we are all at par.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for the guidance. To be actual and with correct information, I beg to pick another document from the whip.
Can it be brought to you?
Which includes the political parties which were in the meeting. Thank you. Right Honorable Speaker, with me, the submissions I'm going to make on this floor were again put into a general communique which is appended to signatures from party representatives. I am going to read. We have representative from the Forum for Democratic Change, the Justice Forum, JEMA, the People's Progressive Party, Ecological Party of Uganda, Uganda Federal Alliance, Uganda People's Congress, Forum for Integrity in Leadership, Conservative Party, and the Democratic Party. And they are all in this house, Right Honorable Speaker.
For the political parties that have been mentioned, or those that turned up for the meeting, which was held on Tuesday this week, are you in agreement that the views in that document are views that represent your own views and your political party's views? You may proceed.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Madam Speaker and honorable members of this August House, on behalf of the parties stated, I rise to present our position and proposals on how Uganda can urgently and effectively manage our environment and take bold climate action. This is not a partisan issue. It is about the survival of our people, the dignity of our nation, and the future of generations to come. Uganda is in the middle of an environmental emergency. We are witnessing rampant deforestation, destructions of wetlands, choking air and water pollution, and the devastating impact of climate change. Floods sweeping away homes, prolonged drought, threatening food security, and deadly landslides barring communities. Right Honorable Speaker, we believe our response must be bold, inclusive, and accountable. We therefore present 5 critical pillars for action. As stated below: agroeconomics and sustainable agriculture, integrated and green transport system, youth and women participation, climate financing and equitable climate actions, accountability and enforcement of the laws. Right Honorable Speaker, under agroeconomics, over 70% of Ugandans depends on agriculture, yet productivity is collapsing under the weight of climate change, poor land use, and environmental degradation. We therefore propose scaling up climate-smart agriculture, including water harvesting, agroforestry, organic farming, and drought-resistant crops. We again propose establishing of a national green agroeconomic program to connect farmers to markets while protecting forests and wetlands. We propose providing incentives for eco-friendly farming practices, such as renewable irrigation systems and organic inputs. We propose supporting value additions in agro-processing to create jobs and reduce post-harvest losses. We propose enforcing land use planning to stop reckless conversions of wetlands and forests into farmlands. Right Honorable Speaker and members, if agriculture is the backbone of our economy, then protecting the environment must be the spine that keeps it upright. Right Honorable Speaker, we propose integrated and green transport system. Madam Speaker and honorable members, transport is Uganda's largest consumer of fossil fuels and one of the fastest growing polluters. We therefore propose developing a national integrated transport policy that prioritizes public and non-motorized transport. We propose offering incentives for electric buses, trains, and border borders supported by the national charging infrastructure. We further propose modernizing railway and water transport to reduce overdependency on the roads. We propose reforming urban planning to cut down long commutes and emissions. We propose supporting local innovations in green mobility technologies to create jobs while reducing emissions. Madam Speaker, Uganda cannot build its future on a traffic jam, smoke, and dust. We must build it on a clean, efficient, and accessible transport. We further propose, Madam Speaker, the youth and women participation. Madam Speaker, the faces of climate change are our young people and women. We bear the heaviest burden, yet remain excluded from decision making. We therefore propose, Madam Speaker, granting at least 40% representation of youth and women in climate and environment decision-making bodies. We further propose that establishing Green Innovation Fund targeting youth and women-led enterprises in renewable energy, recycling, and agro-processing. We propose rolling out skills training in sustainable agriculture, renewable energies, and green jobs. We propose protecting women smallholder farmers from land grabbing and ensuring secure land tenure. We propose launching the national environment education campaigns in schools and communities led by youth ambassadors. Madam Speaker, if the future belongs to the youth, then the youth must be allowed to shape it. Madam Speaker and members, under climate financing and equitable climate actions, honorable members, Uganda's climate response is underfunded and often mismanaged. We therefore propose establishing a national climate resilience fund with strict parliamentary oversight. We propose ensuring direct access to global climate funds through transparent community-led projects. Madam Speaker, we propose distributing resources equitably, prioritizing vulnerable regions like Karamoja, Kasese, and the likes, and Bududa. We further propose promoting public-private partnership with renewable energy, green infrastructure, and sustainable enterprises. We propose integrating climate financing into districts' budgets for local implementation. Madam Speaker and members, climate financing must not become another arena for corruption. It must reach the people who need it most. Lastly, Madam Speaker, is accountability and enforcement of the available laws. Madam Speaker, Uganda as a country has some of the best written environmental laws in Africa, but some of the weakest enforcement. We therefore propose that we strengthen and depoliticize the National Environment Management Authority, NFA, and related institutions. We propose establishing a parliamentary environment accountability committee and track compliance. We propose imposing strict penalties for illegal logging, wetland encroachment, and industrial pollution, Madam Speaker. We propose enhancing community monitoring system to empower citizens to report environmental crimes. We propose digitizing land and resource records to end illegal allocations and increase transparency. We propose demonstrating political will by punishing environmental crimes, whether committed by powerful investors or ordinary citizens. Madam Speaker, no one should be above the law when it comes to protecting Uganda's environment. Conclusions and call for actions, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker and honorable members, we, the political parties, envision a green and just Uganda, where agriculture thrives sustainably, transport is modern and clean, youth and women lead innovation, climate financing reaches vulnerable communities, and the laws are enforced without fear or favor. We therefore call for the adoption of a national green compact across party commitment to safeguard Uganda's environment for present and the future generations. Madam Speaker, as I conclude, let us remember, we did not inherit the earth from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children. Let us not return it to them polluted, depleted, and broken. I beg today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable.
We shall proceed with item number 7, which is the plenary session.
What has been communicated as the next agenda is that the manifesto that has been, the position paper that has been laid before us and discussed is open for debate to the floor. I've also been reliably informed that we have a team that is joining us virtually via Zoom. So I'm going to kindly request the technical team that their views are channeled through this room so that we get to know what they're saying. Either we can hear them verbally or we can get to know the messages that they're sending in and what they are contributing so that this space remains inclusive and open to each one of us. I'll start with the honorable member here.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm going to comment on only one thing from the paper from the opposition parties, the idea on accountability and enforcement of existing laws. Importantly, on accountability, there is an issue of historical responsibility. There are people that have caused a lot of climate change, that have caused a lot of drought in this country. Not necessarily that they are in Uganda, but also exist from outside countries. If you notice the level of pollution that happens in Uganda, it's not only by the Ugandans. There are people from elsewhere that are causing the pollution, that are causing all these problems that happen in the country. Is there something that we can do as a country to hold these individuals responsible or accountable for the climate change crisis that they have caused, particularly for the vulnerable countries like Uganda? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I will move to the gentleman here.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. My name is Kisache Enoch. Thank you for sharing the communique. However, I would love to understand the practicability of the communique. You have really shared, but you're suggesting. We would love to see, as the political parties, what are you ready to do as concerns to climate justice? What are you going to do? You are just suggesting, but we want the practicability. We want to move out of it, of that time where we are giving suggestions, but we want solutions. We want to see you in policy making. Tell us that you're going to create policies that are really going to align with with the topics that we are on. Are you in the field? How are you going to implement your systems in the field? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So for the questions, I'll request the honorable member to take back the floor or note down the questions so that you're able to give a response to the questions that are being asked. I will go to the lady at the back behind the gentleman in maroon. Yes.
Information, Madam Chair. Information.
Proceed.
Madam Chair, I want to inform this House that the Environment Parliament has a roadmap for working with political parties under this arrangement. First, with incorporating such ideas in their manifestos and making sure that whatever is in the communique is reflected in the manifesto and is taken for campaigns in the general elections. Thereafter, we intend to have post-election and environment parliament activities that shall be communicated later. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, Honorable.
Thank you very much, Speaker. My query is about the implementation action plans for the documents that we're actually presenting. It's very well laid out. Even the manifesto is very well laid out. But I'm wondering, do we have action implementation plans also incorporated? Because usually what fails us is that. Okay, there is always that gap. And that's when the misinterpretations come in, and that is when the laws are, there are holes and that are punched in. So can we have that also presented to us and we get to understand what is in it? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable. I will choose, can we hear from the Honorable at the back? Yes, you.
Right Honorable Speaker and the chambers at large. My name is Eric Akankwasa, and I come from Busongora. However, I'm very much glad that political parties are coming together, especially in an issue that is affecting not only young people also, but the entire country at large and the entire world, the global scene at large. I am worried though, because as a country, Uganda, we are always good at policy making. But when it comes to policy implementation, we're always among the poor countries at implementing policies. I would like to first pose a question, because on the order paper, we are supposed to have a presentation from all parties. My first worry, I was even discussing with my brother Andrew here, that we've received a presentation from the opposition. We've not had the NRM part of the discussions that they have had. I'm not so sure whether these submissions they have are going to hold a big support from the majority who occupy the Parliament of Uganda. However, I will also want to, secondly, buy in one of their proposals, which they have as reforming urban planning. Because as a nation, from even the National Physical Development Plan, we have, I understand there are efforts that have been made to declare the entire Uganda planning area, and the first National Physical Planning was done to provide overall national development spatial framework. However, that framework can only be actualized by also empowering the local physical development plans as well. But these local physical development plans are lacking, Right Honorable Speaker, and the entire chambers at large. Because if I can give numbers, at regional level, we only have 2 regional physical development plans. That is the Albertine Graben Physical Development Plan and the Northern Uganda Economic Corridor Physical Development Plan.
Honorable, you have 30 seconds left.
Okay. My submission, Right Honorable Speaker and the chambers, as I wind up, is can we have a working political will from all members so that we have our policies that we make every day and night be actualized and implemented? Thank you very much. I beg to submit.
Thank you very much, Honorable. I would like to first respond to that and say that on Tuesday, a meeting of parties, partners, and organizations was called. And those that showed interest or responded to the call got to form a collective response. However, I would like to say it does not stop here, and no party is forced to come on board. So we want to hope through your appeal that various political parties will embrace this. But for now, as the Environment Parliament, we thank the initiative of the political parties that have showed interest and initiative to participate in the formulation of a manifesto that is climate in nature to be incorporated in their mainstream campaign manifestos. So as the Environment Parliament, we'd like to start by recognizing and thanking those that are on board and continue to believe and hope that more political parties come in and join the discussion. But thank you very much for that view. Yes, Honorable.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Akampura Jovita, a student from Makerere University. My submission on the opposition paper, it's about the launching of national environment education campaigns. I would like to add something. They should ensure they monitor the campaigns that they are going to put in, and also they assess what is taking place, not just launching them and they stop on the way, but they should also assess,
monitor them. How is the things that they are teaching the students, how are they applying them? And also including the competitions where students innovate and do things concerning the green climate projects. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Honorable. So I'm going to go back to numbering, and please, if you had already raised your hand and submitted earlier, for purposes of inclusivity, I request that you put down your hand so that we first listen from each and everybody and proceed. So I'll start with the lady at the back. 1, 2, 3. The lady in orange, I will not be giving you the opportunity again. 4, and then 5, a gentleman here. 6, and then the lady there, 7. I hope we all know our numbers. So in that order, you may kindly proceed to submit.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. My name is Adiero Anoyat. I hail from Gulo City. My village is in Pade district. I'm happy to be here today. Honorable Speaker, the Environment Manifesto 2025, I'm sorry to go back there, stated clearly that 41% of Ugandan youth are under the needs, not in employment, not in education, not in training. I didn't get time to speak on the Environment Manifesto, but I hoped that the next paper they were presenting would highlight that, especially for political parties, because the youth that are not employed, not in education, not in training, are the biggest number of voters at grassroots. The youth in Kampala here don't vote. That is the truth. And these are the people that are not being mentioned in the manifesto for political parties. I needed something that would bring out clearly how the 41% of Ugandan youth not in education, employment, and training would be involved in their paper, in their manifesto, because as political parties, you know you work with the government. And it is not a personal thing that you'll go and do and say, today we are going to create green jobs for the youth in my area. So as an LC5, as a woman member of parliament, what are you doing to ensure that that percentage in your community is involved in this manifesto? Because most of the things that we are stating is basically national issues. It's not breaking it down to that little things that the youth in the grassroots has to know to benefit from this. So I beg that in the papers that we are presenting, we put into consideration the aspect of these youth in grassroots that are not even aware that we are here. I am sure that the youth in this house are not even under the 41%. I am sure about that. So political parties, let us consider that, because you are the drivers of this. The Environment Manifesto is there, right? But as political parties, you are the drivers of change for the youth down there, because the 41% is not just statistics. Those are numbers that are in our community. So let's consider that in our manifesto. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable. As we proceed, I'm going to request once again, or should I say direct, whoever is in charge of the virtual team. I am informed that there are submissions that are being laid down by the team attending virtually. I request to have them as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, and thank you so much, the political parties that have put together such an interesting paper. My name is Lilian Senteza. I work with Transparency International, Uganda. And I wish to re-echo the aspect of transparency, of accountability that have clearly been stipulated in the paper. How I wish the Environment Manifesto can have that incorporated, because it is an advocacy tool that is going to enable us achieve better results out of the entire discussion. Madam Speaker, in 2022, the Inspectorate of Government disseminated a report called The Cost of Corruption. And in that report, it was clearly stated that corruption in Uganda's environmental sector costed 2.8 trillion. That is only in 1 year. That is about 750 million per year. And in all the sectors that were listed in that report, the environmental sector was the highest ranked sector in that report. It clearly shows to us that even with the meager resources that the economy gets towards addressing climate change, we still have aspects of mismanagement, aspects of corruption that are hindering us, the communities, to get what we desire to get. It is my prayer that as we go with this manifesto, we clearly put out the aspect of transparency and accountability, and of course ensuring that the citizens have information and have the capacity to engage and to monitor what is to benefit them. As long as the communities are left out, as long as the communities have no access to information, we shall not be able to register the success that we want to register, and we shall not be able to hold the leaders accountable. I wish to once again thank the political parties. Thank you so much for that elaborate paper. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
I'm going to once again say that we only have 2 minutes each, and the moment your time gets done, I will request you to hand over the floor to the next speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My name is Kushawa Collins, and I'm a third-year law student at Macquarie University. Political parties, thank you for your participation. However, my concern is that climate financing. You talked about district budgets. Are district local leaders aware that such financing is available? Is your plan like a manifesto that you have as political leaders? Have you incorporated have you invited local leaders to know that such funds are available? And my suggestion would be that, can you hold such kind of session at local leaders in the village, and you tell them how they can incorporate their budget, their annual budget, and they incorporate such kind of information that is required to fight the climate. Yeah.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker and the House. I want to appreciate the political parties for the submission. But my worry is one, I want to first mention that I quoted Right Honorable Speaker in her first story that she gave us, that the journey of fighting climate change needs a multidisciplinary approach. I am emphasizing on the fact that the paper that has been presented by the political parties needed these renowned, also other renowned political parties like NRM and NUP, because what we must know is that we want these proposals that they have given to actually be implemented. And these are going to be presented here, and at the end of it all, these NRM MPs are going to come and present something else. And therefore, I must say that we may have, yes, invited them and they have not come, but we would emphasize that they can also be part of it, so that at least we are sure that even their views are there, and they are also going to continue and table some of these issues when it comes to national representation. Secondly, Right Honorable Speaker, they mentioned, they proposed something about traffic jam, smoke and dust, but it did not have practicability of implementation, because our Kampala, its own, every day people are increasing, and when people increase, that means the vehicles, the motorcycles, and everything are increasing. So they did not give us a mechanism of how are they going to actually have the traffic jam out, but it is a good proposal. And lastly, also on practicability still, they talked about areas like Karamoja, Kasese, and Bududa. But as the House, so that we are sure that the implementation is going to take place, we would love to have heard from what are some of the steps or what are some of the actions that have been done in those areas by the political parties, because they have been there, so that we are sure that even your proposal is going to increase, or to increase on the level of the impact of what you are proposing to do. And lastly, on youth participation, we would actually also I would have loved to see even their own committees of the political parties to have effective youth participation, so that these are the youth that are going to be presenting some of these issues, and we are sure these youth are also going to implement, because they are taking a big number of the population. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much. As we proceed, I hope the representative of the political parties is preparing a response to especially the call on practicability that is being inquired of you. I have a communication from a participant who is online. Her name is Samali Letitia. She says the policies are already created, they are just not being implemented. Also, the implementers are not being well supported and are overwhelmed. Since we are going into an electoral season, can we have green general elections as Uganda come 2026? A lot of paper as posters and flyers are put all over the place. Trees are cut to create paper, and it's littered all over the place after the elections, which is unhealthy for our environment. And so next I'm going to request the IT department to get me about 2 speakers that are joining us online to submit on floor. We may proceed with the order.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Akori Martha, a student at Chambogo University. I am pursuing a Bachelor of Science, Technology and Chemistry. Dear House, today I'm quite disappointed because when I came here, I expected to hear from both proposals things that majorly surround innovation. I'm an innovator. I believe in hydrogen fuel for Uganda. And the thing that we are missing out here is that innovation is the answer that is going to actually address the climate crisis. What we came to look out for is market access. How can you, as the Environmental Parliament, help us access market? How can you, as the Environmental Parliament, scale up our startups? That is what we want to hear. Everything we are talking about relies on money, and all those things listed on the proposals means income to be injected on it. Why don't we look at innovators? Why don't we look at innovations that are going to bring revenue to Uganda? That is what we should be looking at. I upcycle single-use plastic bags into footwear and raincoats, and apparently I'm stalled because I do not have anyone that is going to support the business. But the thing is, people are out there, but we want to support social enterprises that are going to actually benefit the country by bringing revenue. That should be the discussion, I think, of the House. That is it, supporting innovation. And as Team Opposition talked about resources benefiting people equitably, I come from Karamoja region, and let's talk about the resources. Karamoja is home to many resources that are the reason why Uganda is the pearl of Africa. Let's begin about the mineral wealth. But when you come to the TVET schools, to the seed schools,
information.
Please, just a minute.
Information granted.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. I would love to inquire from our current speaker on the floor.
Yes, please.
Please, would you elaborate more the principle of public-private partnership? Because from your conversation, it seems like we have deviated away from what is on the floor. The conversation is about critiquing or adding on the values of what the political parties have presented. Thank you.
Sorry about that. I didn't mean to come off that strong, but still, we were asked earlier on our expectations and on innovation, and it seems more of theoretical than statistical. That's why. I may not understand what exactly that means, but I'm bringing my opinion. Thank you. Dear panel, as I said about resources or being benefiting people equitably, I would like to inform the House that how about that these TVET institutions actually equip people with knowledge that benefit them within the resources they have. People are being taught about mechanics, they're taught about tailoring, hairdressing. How about they're taught how to, work on mineral systems?
Honorable.
Madam Speaker, order.
Granted.
I think the member is not in order according to the proceedings that are happening right now. I beg to guide the House. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I am going to accord you 30 seconds to close your case and relate it to political parties and their role and what they can bring on table in climate action vis-a-vis what they have presented. In 30 seconds as you conclude.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Much as that has been said, my stress is on innovation. And dear House, if we are investing on this manifesto, I hope that innovations are given the visibility and allowing us to access markets and registration for our businesses. Thank you for climate and environment.
Thank you very much. So going forward, I'm going to request that we be more proactive and more solution-based. When we continue to talk of the problem, then the problem becomes bigger than the solutions that we could generate. And us sitting here today is frustrated, and we still remain where we started from. So if a group has presented something, look for that solution that has to be added. Either make it better or critique what they have and say, maybe I don't think this works. We could have this alternative. So I request we stick to that form of debate and we debate what is on floor. I think perhaps we needed to have added something on expectations, but perhaps that will be included next time. Thank you very much. We may proceed as I have guided.
Information, Speaker.
Information granted.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I was almost letting this rest, but then I realized I would be doing justice to the rest of us if the former speaker said he's disappointed in the way we are allaying our views. And I would like to inform her that allaying ideas is part of innovation. And so, Madam Speaker, I would want to ask you, for the benefit of everyone here, to ask the former speaker take that back, to withdraw her statement.
Kindly put right what you put wrong, Honorable.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I take back my statement and I apologize. Thank you.
I hope my house is now at peace. There's smoke and fire, but we are all now on the same footing. We thank God for the sanity. You may proceed, Honorable. Oh, and also allow me re-echo, let's keep respectable to each other. Let's keep at least that decency in our communication. You may proceed.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. My name is Lucy Eric Matthew, an active on-ground climate activist and an environmentalist, currently running a monthly campaign in waste management and afforestation. Yeah, according to what our politicians have presented, I would just want to first of all thank them for coming up together and combining themselves to come up with a consortium. And this makes us to know that environmental activities or environmental challenges are not political, but these affect us all. Like issues concerning environment, they affect us also. As politicians, I thank you so much for that. But then, I would, according to what you presented, I wish on the meeting you had on Tuesday, I think you would have also come up with a work plan so that you can throw more light on the points you've shared, so that we can know that you're not here just to entice us because we are heading to a political term, as we know politicians always do, but then you have a work plan for what you have, for the ideas you've presented to us. And then I would also, on the issue of the campaigns in school, the fact that the presenter said that we borrow the our nation is like our climate and environment is borrowed from the future children, but then it's us to present it back to them in a reliable way. So the fact that schools are where we all come from, what have groomed us to who we are now, the issue of environmental campaigns in schools, I think the fact that you are politicians and you have access to the national parliament, these are things that supposed to be added in the national curriculum of our academic structure. The fact that we've all been brought up in the old system, and these are some of the reasons as to why many people are so reluctant when it comes to environment issues. It's basing on the national population, the number here is very little to the number of Ugandans outside there. So you as politicians who have the access to the national parliament, these are some of the issues I suggest you should present to the National House so that they can be put into consideration. Oh, I'm sorry.
Seconds.
Okay. So that's one of my biggest add-on onto your manifesto, that you should need to look at adding these environmental campaigns in schools via the National House. I beg to submit. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Honorable. But also allow me remind us that this is the first time we are having such representation on this floor. It's the first time you're seeing political parties actually come down to say, let us speak of incepting or adding to our campaign strategy an aspect of climate. I am speaking. I request you put down your hand. So I would like to request and to inform us that there is a beginning, there is always a starting point. And therefore, for today's discussion, we're allowing ideas of what do you think, where do you think you can start from? And moving forward from this parliament, we are going to be going into discussions of strategies, of beyond the conversations. For those that have attended COP, they did not just start from the air and just, fall into existence and states come up with strategies on day one. They sat and said, this is the direction we want to take. They went back and caucused as countries. They came up with implementation strategies. So I would like to request that even in our spirit of advocacy and passion, we are able to understand that there are phases to the way things are done, but I do accept and believe in your commitment and wanting to hold our political parties accountable by what they say and to see them be more strict and serious on the commitments they make. Thank you very much. I will move to the next speaker.
Point of information, Madam Speaker.
Information granted.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm Bagada Godfrey from FPAD Disability Fraternity. I would like to thank the previous speaker from the opposition or multi-party that you have talked and your plans are very important, but we have not heard anything concerning or including person with disability. And Madam Speaker, there is a concern I identified from the beginning. I don't know whether those people, the deaf, who will be listening or watching this parliament we are in now, can really access the information we are talking about. The sign language, I expected the sign language would have been there, so that even when we are discussing the sign language, the deaf person can access information. Madam Speaker, we are only talking about the youth and women, but we have seen in many times persons with disabilities suffering very much when it comes to environmental change. Right away, you can talk of Bududa, you can talk of Kigezi, Kasesa, and the rest. Persons with disabilities are always sought as a last resort. So I want whoever is presenting here to know that we are also citizens of Uganda. We can also contribute to the development of this country and also to the protection of the environment in this country. Thank you. I beg to.
Thank you very much for that point of information. And going forth, I hope the next presenters are ready to factor such a specific and important aspect of inclusion in their policy frameworks and in their position papers. But also on that note, allow me push this or direct the Environment Parliament Secretariat to cater and factor into the aspect of the deaf, and we have sign language interpreters availed so that there is a balance in mode of delivery and also inclusivity.
Most obliged, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. We may proceed to the last speaker.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members of this House, distinguished representatives from the government and different and various political parties present. By names of John Kamregea, I'm a climate storyteller and an author. I rise today to humbly pose a question, which is a critical one. My question is deeply rooted in the pragmatic wisdom which lingers in the minds of fellow environmentalists. When the drums of the 2026 general elections begin to sound, will environment truly be on the ballot? Specifically, I'm drawn to ask, will the pursuit of green jobs and environmental protection be at the very center of the promises you, members from various political parties and the government, promised to the people in the 2026 general elections? Or will you once again speak of bridges, roads, and power, while our people continue to bear the indignity of droughts, deforestation, pollution, and the shrinking prospects of green livelihoods? Honorable members, if politics is the art of shaping the future, then I submit to you that there will be no future, there can be no future without a livable environment. So I want us to be reminded of an African proverb that says, when the last tree dies, the last man dies. I beg to submit.
Thank you very much, Honorable. From the IT department, do we have anybody online? If they're there, I request they're unmuted and allowed to present their views.
Point of information.
Point of information granted, Honorable.
Okay. Mine is in an inquiry where I would like to know how this parliament and the submission has prioritized areas that are currently affected by climate change, like Bududa, like
Honorable, that was information or
Order.
inquiry? That is struck out. Let us remain systematic. If it is an inquiry, you say inquiry. If it is an information, then inform us.
Okay, it's a point of inquiry, Speaker. Thank you. But it can still. Then they shall be unmuted.
All right, so we are going to be hearing from Honorable Samali. She's joining online. So I kindly request the team to unmute Honorable Samali so that she can speak to us. From the technical team, can her voice be availed to each one of us?
Can I be seen? Sorry, I'm in field right now. I'm a safety personnel somewhere, so sorry if you see my space disorganized, but I'm so happy to be given the chance to speak. The Environmental Parliament is such an honor, it's a big deal, and I'm so happy for the stakeholders and for everyone that has gathered here today to speak about environmental issues because it's a big deal. We are told that people forgive twice. God forgives all the time, but the environment doesn't forgive at all. What you reap is what you sow. If you pollute, you get sick, and the rest of the things that happen. But my biggest issue, or something that I would want to put on the floor, is that I was requesting the political parties and all the people that are going to participate in the electoral process come 2026 to ensure that we have a green electoral process. I looked at a delegates conference that happened a few weeks back around Kololo, and we had posters all over the roads, all over the walls in the city, and nothing was done about it. And these very papers were not being well disposed of because, first of all, they're not segregated. Papers are mixed with food, plastic plastic bottles, and then sent off to Chitezi Steel, Chitezi that actually collapsed a few months back. So, my please, could we please have a green electoral process come 2026? I beg to submit, and thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, Honorable Samali, for that well-founded contribution and question. So at this juncture, allow me... Teresa, you may proceed.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. At this juncture, we shall move to item number 8, and we call upon the whip of all political parties to respond to the questions, but also move the motion for all political parties to come up with a single position on green jobs for 2026 general election campaigns.
All right, it seems we caught Honorable Agnes not yet on that. Let us have the gentleman who earlier read the position paper for us in 5 minutes respond, and then she can come and read the motion. Strictly 5 minutes or less.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I have a packaged response in two statements. One, I want to thank the members for your input, for those who have proposed input in our commitment. But I want, Right Honorable Speaker, I want to let the House know that this is commitment by the political parties to have their different manifestos of the coming elections incorporated in these proposals. So there are proposals to be put in our respective manifestos. And that answers, Right Honorable Speaker, much of the questions. The question of implementation, the question of what are we doing, the question of putting ideas in the national structure, the question of implementation, which was asked online. Thank you. I want also, Honorable Speaker, to inform the House that away from this agreement in regards to the environment, respective political parties are picking it differently to add on more ideas in their respective manifestos. So it is not conclusive that this is what we all we are going to put in our respective manifestos. There is room for each political parties to think wide about the environment. Thank you.
Information.
You may inform us.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
for purposes of record, once again, I'm Kakoza Derek. Many honorable members have been talking about the practicability of the different political parties in ensuring that we have greenhouse jobs in Uganda. The political parties actually have played a very big role in this, practically and also availing ideas on how best we can protect our environment. Let me give you a case study between 2006 and 2012.
You have 13 seconds left.
Yes, in just that. We had an issue concerning Mavira, and we saw political activists like Mama Mavira, Honorable Beatrice Anywa, if I can recall very well. She brought up a campaign to protect Mavira. But then the issue is the political will from the ruling party. If at all the ruling party doesn't have the political will to bring out ideas concerning environment, we can speak, we can give our alternative policies, but still they will not be implemented. So on that part, I think we have a role to play for all the political parties. Thank
Information, Madam Speaker.
There's so much being informed, but in
yes,
1 minute,
yes,
inform
thank
us.
you. I want to inform my brother that there is nothing to worry about the current political prayer. We are going into a general elections where you never know the next date is FDC. So when they commit to this, there is no guarantee that it will be the NRM again. So you may think it's NRM. We are months towards the elections, and I understand my other brother from DP, they are contesting NRM, FDC. So the implementation part, it is about changing for the better. Thank you.
Information.
Thank you very much. I think we can have a cap
of
on the
information.
information so that we proceed. Otherwise, we will keep having a back and forth on trying to inform each other. But thank you very much. We may proceed per the agenda.
Right, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Members, good afternoon. I'm Agnes, and I'm representing the different political parties as the whip. And I rise today to present a very pivotal issue, an issue of importance, a global concern, and to our local community. And I would like to present it as I read it. Conscious that Uganda is approaching the general election of 2026, a defining moment for setting the country's development priorities, recognizing that green jobs represent a sustainable pathway to economic empowerment by promoting innovation, reducing unemployment, and safeguarding our environment. Mindful that climate change, environmental degradation, socio-economic vulnerability demand that political parties act responsibly by aligning their policy frameworks with the urgent needs of Ugandans, especially the youth, women, persons with disabilities. Aware that the creation of green jobs through sectors such as renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, ecotourism, waste management, and environmental conservation is critical to securing livelihoods, protecting ecosystems, and accelerating inclusive growth. Noting that political parties, regardless of ideological differences, share a collective duty to advance Uganda's sustainable development and protect the well-being of present and future generations. do hereby move that all political parties represented in this House shall resolve that in the forthcoming 2026 elections, they include in their policy statements and manifestos a clear commitment to prioritize green jobs as a central pillar for economic empowerment. Further moved that these political parties shall jointly commit to supporting and advancing policies that promote green jobs, irrespective of which government assumes leadership after the 2026 elections, thereby ensuring continuity, responsibility, and shared national progress. I'm pretty sure that this is a unified front from all political parties. And I want to ask all of us to be proactive rather than reactive to the future generation. I beg to submit the motion, to submit the motion that I have just tabled. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Agnes. Any seconders of the motion that has been tabled?
Procedure, Madam Chair. Procedure, Madam Chair.
Yes, procedure granted.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. I would like to suggest that those who are moving to second the motion should be members of the political party forum, so that you are able to be held accountable for your manifesto. I beg to move, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much for that guidance.
Information, Madam Chair.
Granted.
I think all those in the communique should be able to second such a motion. Thank you.
Can we have them rise? And in unison, second the motion.
I, Genevieve Abwatem Berire, stand to second the motion that Honorable Agnes has put on table.
Thank you very much. So the motion has been seconded. And to the House at large, you have heard what has been discussed. You have had questions. You have had criticisms, but also recommendations from each and everybody here. Now, those in support of this House adopting this motion, say aye. And those not in approval of the adoption of this motion tabled by the political parties, say nay. I beg your pardon? It sounds the eye is strong this side, but the eyes have it. At least a round of applause for that. We came a long way. At a point, I was worried and thought that this would not be passed, but I have been surprised by the consensus we're able to build towards the end. And therefore, honorable members, I would like to thank you for how far we have come in this discussion, for our views, for our passionate contributions and submissions to the discussions and motions that are being tabled. And at this point, I would like to send the House in recess for the next hour for a lunch break. And therefore, honorable members, the House is suspended for an hour.
Ladies and gentlemen, like the speaker has communicated, we are finally in our recess hour for strictly 1 hour. We are going to be giving out the lunch coupons. Hawa, where are you? Hawa? Patience, where are you? Patience and Hawa? Yes, we're going to be giving out lunch coupons. Patience is right over here. So you can stand there. So if you are going to go for lunch, please come and pick your coupon from here. And in strictly 1 hour, we should all be back and ready for the conversation to continue. Thank you very much. We also have Malaika with the coupons at the back, right over there. So regardless of wherever you are passing, Malaika has the coupons right over there. And Patience here. Malaika, where are you? Malaika, please come inside. Malaika is right over there in orange. Malaika is right at the exit over there in orange to get your lunch coupon, or you can get it from Patience, who is right over here. Let's create more space and we move to the line behind. Yes, we have coupons behind with Malaika and right here with Patience. Please, I request that we move for lunch as soon as possible. We have only 1 hour. Point of
Sorry.
Simwa very straight, John. Eh?
It is off.
Oh, she's even here. I'm thinking. No, on phone. She's my vice president. What's your name? Can I call her now? I tell her.
see you. Ladies and gentlemen, please, enough with the pictures for now. We have only 1 hour for lunch. Please. Pesh, the tickets are right there with Pesh. I kindly request we move for lunch. 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 I kindly request. I will help you move out. Please, guys, we have only 1 hour. Beyond an hour, we shall not be able to do so.
Actually, you can't believe it.
I speak. Okay, it's a pleasure to be in this place, creating awareness and displaying a manifesto for the Environment Parliament 2025, and it has been an amazing experience. Hey, the seats are empty. Yeah.
share with you the specific. Pardon? He doesn't have. That's the only number he has. Okay, that's the only number of him that I have.
Definitely, my friend. Kiringa Museveni agenda kujirira mu kantini. Kiringa Museveni asiba abantu bamulwaneko kyali kyolimu.
Belinda, olina olaba Belinda. Omulaba atudde. Ali mu kampi. Mumpe. Belinda. Hello? Belinda. Where? Hey, come. Is it on?
when we look at our legislative arm of government, where they come to that when they are voted into power, then they get to enact, they get to pass. Even for the budgets, currently in Uganda, we're talking of climate financing and budgeting. The climate sector is underfunded in Uganda. And therefore, we believe that if we have politicians commit to see how, one, important climate action is, and two, that they also have a place there. And regardless of who you are and where you come from, and if you want to get into mainstream politics, to become a pertinent and key actor in climate justice and climate action. And therefore, this year, the Environment Parliament, we are crying out and calling onto each and every political party and political activist to join this force and understand that it's high time we had been on board to support us and tell us perhaps their parties. For example, today we were discussing and parties were saying, maybe tomorrow the NRM will not go through. We would want to know, what does BP say about our generation, about an era that is climate sensitive? What is their climate plan? When we look at sustainability, it's in the three legs too. It talks about economics, it talks about environment, and then the social aspect. So we are calling on to them not to only look at sustainable development for Uganda in the aspect of maybe the social, but to go broader and look at social in regards of their jobs, their skilling in the aspects where the plan and campaign you have in your political space. You go to the environment. What are those environment-friendly policies? Are you looking at financing, or what is your say on having a climate safe or prepared country that you want to prepare for? And then lastly, is the economic bit of it. We need the economy, but we also need to have a stable and well-built environment. And therefore, we're calling them to look at sustainability in the three
Welcome back from your lunch break. As we prepare for the next chamber session, feel free to connect and network with the fellow leaders in this room. As you take your pictures, please do remember our official hashtag is EP capital letters 2025. Do not forget to tag the Environment Parliament. Do not forget to tag Parliament of Uganda, our sponsors and partners, WFD, Care Uganda, and the multi-party democracy. As we prepare for the next session of the Environment Parliament, as you take your pictures, do not forget to network and exchange some phone numbers. We will also be able to tag at EP Uganda, tag at Parliament Uganda, Tag our partners for today: WFD, Care Uganda, Multi-Party Democracy, and Global Rights Alert. In just a few minutes, as we wait for everybody to finish their lunch, we will be resuming the Environment Parliament. I hope you are all enjoying your experience. I kindly encourage you all to use this platform to share your experiences, your research, according to the work you do in regards to climate action, in regards to the role of policies when it comes to environmental justice conversations for the future of Uganda.
Let her first take me, then she will do as well. Na ekambe erako nebino. Like you have this section. No, you can stand like that side. You capture only where there are only people. Where there are only people.
Even. Okay. Good afternoon to you all. It's a pleasure to be here. And what we are, okay. When do you know this thing? The thing is when actually. The problem is that can you switch it off? Can you switch it off? It's on. Okay, you take me. You take me. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to stand here on the Environmental Parliament, looking at the theme mainstreaming climate. If you take it, let me see.
Oh, I don't want to take it because they wanted that it was a picture. It was.
Maybe let me go the other side.
You see my battery. You can use yours.
Mine doesn't.
You see.
Let me first see.
I have no charger. Do you have a charger? Yes. Hello. Please.
Don't put your pressure. Thank you.
I want to confirm that I'm very clear. I want to confirm that I'm very clear. Take me my Ngamaron. Hey, this one. But we should also have photos. Should also. I hope it's very clear. It is. No. I need a pic. That gives me justice. Then you can take a final. Okay. Is there?
Welcome back from your lunch break, ladies and gentlemen. As you take some pictures, do not forget to post them and tag at EP Uganda. You can also tag some of our partners, Parliament of Uganda, Care Uganda, Global Rights Alert, and the Multi-Party Democracy. Don't forget to also tag me. At exactly 2:30, we shall be resuming with the House, and our rules and regulations as communicated prior still stand. At exactly 2:30, the House will be resuming. As you see the Sergeant at Arms ringing the bell, that would be a sign for all of us to stand up. This time, the Speaker will not be announced like before. Once you hear the bell ringing, we all just rise up. Yes. How is the experience so far? Have we been able to voice some of the things we wanted to voice? Not yet? Almost? How is it going? Lady in orange. Yes. How is your experience so far in the Parliament? Have you aired out some of the things you want to? Or you are about to?
Oh. Once again, I'm Kasembo Velma from joining today's Parliament from Vital Christ Foundation and Interlocal District. So far, I would say the Parliament session has gone on very well. at least there has been fair selection in airing issues, and we expect the same how the morning session was. We expect the same in the next session. Thank you.
All right, we have somebody here that says there's been a lovely balance in the conversation. Somebody's shaking their head. Hannah, don't come here. For me, it is a call. It's a call. When you shake your head, I feel more energized. To the lady in blue. You can't speak in parliament, and you come to parliament. Okay. I always tell people never to enter spaces as these. Spaces where, you know how many applications we received? Over 1,000+ applications. But only a fraction of those were selected to be here. So don't come and leave when nobody remembers your name or even a point that you made. Yeah? So, I think I would speak to our queen right over there. Yes. And I want you to explain to us what the sash means, how you got it, and your experience so far at the parliament. And when the queen is speaking, you listen.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, Maria Maureen Nabule, Miss Climate Change Awareness, Central Uganda. I'm really so humbled to be here. And the first question, how I qualified to be Miss Climate. I really had the passion for that, to really go out there and advocate for the different ways that people can really come out from grassroots and talk about the different climate changes that we can really tackle. And the most inspiring thing that really made me come out here was I was advocating for biodegradable hair because I wanted to substitute it with synthetic hair. I wanted us to do away with synthetic hair. So that was why I really came out. And so far, so good. We started making the hair. The production is a bit slow because of funding and all those things. But I'm glad my project was really so unique, and I outcompeted and made it. And so far, so good. But I'm here because I want to really add a voice. We need to really simplify the climate knowledge that we give people out there. You're really using sophisticated terms. You're using LinkedIn. You're using X. But people, you need to go to the grassroots because the most affected people are down, and the policies really affect them when you really amend them on here. So we need to really go back to the grassroots and advocate for all these green, sustainable initiatives that we are talking about here. Let it not stop here in the boardrooms. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Maria. So is the hair you're wearing right now biodegradable? Hey, Mkubyenyo, let me run away before she comes for me. All right. I feel like we need to have a bit of more equality in the conversation today, so we'll move to the gentleman right here. Hello, sir. Just give us a brief introduction of who you are and